just come to standing, and we'll just do some swaying from side to side just to get into the zone. Just come a little bit higher, maybe going around the shoulders. And then just let go to sway gently. And then come to a gentle sway, and then come to standing. Lift and roll those shoulders back. Turn the head to the left, turn the head to the right. Breathing into the left and breathing out to the right. Into the left and out to the right, and come to the center. Breathing in, raise the right arm, stretch the arm up and press the right foot into the ground, and then breathing out, lower the right arm back down alongside you. And then breathing in, raise the left arm, stretch the arm up and press the foot down, and then breathing out, lower the left arm. Lift and roll the shoulders. Breathing in, hands up, hands back, hands crossed, hands down, hands up, down, cross, down, up, down. Try and remember to cross the arms, which I don't think I did last time. Down, that's fine, just carry on. You want to be down. Patsy's just arrived. And so it was Charlotte's birthday yesterday. Charlotte's birthday yesterday.
Oh, my birthday.
And up, down, cross, up, down, cross. And then just feet a little bit apart, circle the arms up, and then circle the arms down, circle the arms up, stretch, and circle the arms down. Lift and roll the shoulders. Turn the head to the left, turn the head to the right, and come back to the centre. And as Patsy's here, we'll start the lesson properly.
You haven't gonged yet.
I haven't quite gonged yet. I thought we'd just do some warm-ups.
Oh, you didn't make it so busy.
So, did you want the window open? Did you want the air conditioning on?
I'm all right without aircon.
Are you? Yes, I'm fine.
How are you feeling?
Oh, yeah, all right with the antibiotics, but still slightly mobile.
Yeah, but that'll take a few days.
Will it? Yeah, it doesn't. Was your tooth slightly mobile?
Yeah.
Can't tell you that's freaking out.
How many have you taken? Just 2 or 3?
No. 3 yesterday, 1 today.
Yeah, so give it another couple of days.
Okay, all right then, Auntie. Right, so
Right.
I'm going to gong the gong, thank you, and then come to lying on the floor, feet hip width apart. And second,
Is that you?
no. Feet hip width apart. Feet hip width apart. We're lying, knees up to the ceiling, feet hip width apart. Hands resting maybe on the abdomen, but hands also could be palms down on the floor. Just come to settle. And notice as you breathe in that your abdomen rises slightly. And as you breathe out, the abdomen just falls very slightly away from you. Again, just very gently turn the head to the left. And in your own time, let the head roll back to the centre. And just turn very gently to the right. Back to the centre. To the left. And come back to the centre. To the right. Come back to the centre. Bring your attention to your hips. Make any adjustments with your feet that you need to. And imagine your hips where they're resting on the ground being like a clock. So as you roll your tailbone away from you towards the ground, your lower back lifts, and that would be your 12 o'clock. Moving your tailbone in the opposite direction, so flattening your back as if you're going to lift your tailbone, goes towards your 6. Come back to the centre of your clock and just very gently move or roll towards the right, which is your 3. Come back to the centre, your knees are likely to move too, and very gently move to your 9 o'clock to your left. Come back to the centre. And then just again, your 12 o'clock with your hips, your 6 o'clock, your 3 o'clock, and your 9 o'clock. And now go to your 12 o'clock and just slowly make a circle around the clock from 12 clockwise. Your knees will move slightly, your hips will move. And then very gently anti-clockwise, going in the opposite direction, circle your hips in the other direction. Just gently let both knees sway from side to side. Your hips can lift. And have a sense here that you are initiating the movement from the soles of your feet. So you're pressing your feet into the earth, perhaps, to assist the movement of the knees moving from side to side. Come back to the centre. And then have a sense of moving your knees, but your knees are initiating the movement. And just see how that impacts your movement. Coming back to the center. And then as you continue to swing your knees from side to side, sense that your hips are initiating the movement by lifting from side to side. And then just continue to sway your knees from side to side in whichever way you'd like. Your hips are lifting, your knees drop as little or as much as you'd like. And you can start to involve your head in this movement. So as your knees drop to one direction, to one side, your head might turn away from the direction of the knees, but however you turn is fine. Bringing the knees back to the center and turning to the other side. Side to side. And if you want to begin to involve your arms, you can bring your arms out to perhaps 45 degrees. And as the knees drop one way and the head is turning, open one palm up, there's no right or wrong, it's totally intuitive. And turn the palm down as you bring the knees and the head back to center. Opening the other palm. And turning the palm down towards the floor, opening the palm up towards the ceiling. You're rotating the arm joint in its socket. And then coming to the center. Just let that movement slow down. Your hands can come back to either your abdomen or to hands down alongside you. Make any adjustments to be comfortable and hug your left knee into your chest. Variation of Apanasana. Just holding the knee into the chest, and you might find that the knee comes in a little bit more closely to the chest. And then very gently let that left foot release back to the ground. And focus your attention on the right side, hugging the right knee into the chest. Nothing to do, just a static pose this time. Just check that your chin is not shooting up to the ceiling, the back of the neck is long. And then very gently lower the right foot to the ground. And stretch both legs out along the ground. Hands can be palms down alongside you. And just gently start to circle your ankles in one direction. And then circle your ankles in the other direction. Leaving your right leg where it is, hug your left knee into your chest. And then gently rock your entire body, holding your left knee to the right, so that your left knee goes towards the right, your right hand can hold somewhere along the left thigh, and your left hand can rest on the left waist. You can have a support underneath your left knee. Your head can turn to look up or even slightly to the left. If you want to open up further under your arms, you can bend your elbow and raise your arm up diagonally towards the edge of the mat, or stretching upwards, however that works for you. And if you really want to stretch under the arms, you can open your left arm to the left at shoulder height, like opening a book. That is a really strong stretch under the arm. So you might prefer your arm up above you, or come back to holding the waist. Just check your right stretched out leg. It doesn't have to be completely straight and stretched, but you might actually just to straighten it and then relax into the pose. Breathing in and out. And then bring your lower abdomen to your abdomen in towards your spine and roll onto your back. Place your left foot on the floor. Bend up your right leg, right foot on the floor. And you might like to press your feet into the ground to straighten you up on the spinal level. And then straighten the left leg along the floor and hug the right knee into the chest. And when you're ready, roll the entire body over to the left. You can take support under your right knee. Your left hand can hold anywhere along the right leg, maybe mid-right thigh. And your right hand can rest on the right waist, or it can stretch up above you, really stretching it out. And keep a bend in your elbow if that's more comfortable. And if you really want a full experience, which is quite strong, then open your right arm out like a book, palm down, or you can have palm up. Whatever feels comfortable for you. This supine rotational twist is very therapeutic on many levels, and you move into this as little or as much as you like. And then very gently roll onto your back. Place your right foot on the floor and bend up your left leg so that your left foot's on the floor. Press your feet into the floor to lift your bottom and realign your spine. And once more reconnect with the sweeping of the knees from side to side. That swaying knee movement, you can bring your head into this movement if you would like as well. And then straightening the legs out along the ground. Arms in beside you, palms down along the ground. Breathing in, raise your right arm above you, stretch out your right heel, and breathing out, turn your head to the left. Stay here for an in and an out breath. Breathe in, bring the head back to center, and breathing out, lower the right arm. Extend the left heel as you raise the left arm up above you. Let the left back of the hand connect to the floor. Breathe out, turn your head to the right, away from your outstretched left arm. Breathing in, come back to the center with your head. And breathing out, lower your left arm back down alongside you. Bend both knees and bring the soles of the feet together loosely in a form of supine Baddha Konasana. How much you bring your feet in towards you is up to you, but just a loose Baddha Konasana. And then roll both knees over to the right. Your left foot might come onto the floor, lifting your left hip. Bring both knees back to the center, and then roll both knees over to the left, lifting your right hip. Both knees back to the center, and then opening your right knee to the right, and then let your left knee join it, so that both knees are over to the right. Open your left knee to the center, and then your right knee joins it, and both knees go over to the left. So it's a very gentle rocking from side to side. The right knee comes up to the center and starts to go over to the right, and you'll find your left knee naturally joins it, so that both knees roll over to the right and your left hip lifts. Your head will naturally roll along the ground as you go from side to side. And then coming back to the center, both knees are up to the ceiling. Hug one knee into the chest, and then hug the other knee into the chest. And just very gently rock from side to side. And then hugging both knees into the chest, let both knees travel away from you to arm's length. Hug both knees into the chest, let both knees travel away from you to arm's length. Hug both knees into the chest, let both knees travel away from you to arm's length. And a couple more times in your own timing. And then rocking gently from side to side. And take your time to roll onto the side. We're going to be coming up into a seated position. If you can make cross-legged, then that is brilliant. And it's raining outside, if you wondered what I was doing. Into a cross-legged position, holding your knees, breathing in, sitting up, and breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Breathing in, sitting up, breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Breathing in, sitting up, breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Breathing in, sitting up, breathing out, rounding chin comes to chest. And a couple more times in your own timing, your own breath pattern. And then just start to very gently circle, holding your knees or below your knees in one direction, swirling. So how you swirl, how much you swirl is very much up to you. And then very gently circle in the other direction. And then sitting up, touch the hands to either side of you and slightly let your left hand go to the left. As you raise your right arm, bend the elbow, you can stay up on your left hand, almost like a dome, or you can come down to your left elbow, which is a greater stretch, whatever works for you. And then tummy in as you press your left hand down, lower your right arm, slide your right arm out to the right, lift your left elbow, bend at the elbow, come over to the right, and then press your hand down as you're coming up. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then hands or fingertips in front of you as you just walk your hands slightly forward. A slightly easy forward bend. Walk the hands back. And just come to have your legs out in a V. Circling the ankles in one direction. Circling the ankles in the other direction. Stretch the toes out and relax the toes, and then stretch the toes out and relax the toes. And then just bring your hands underneath your knees or just underneath your legs to bend your knees, and then come gently onto your hands and knees in tabletop. And hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. Breathing in, dipping your back, looking up. Breathing out, round your back, chin to chest. A few more times in your own breath pattern, breathing in, dipping your back. Breathing out, rounding, chin to chest. And the next time you round your back, bring your bottom towards your heels, stretching out your hands, and then come back to tabletop, dip the back, round the back, bottom goes towards the heels. Come up to the knees. Dip the back, round the back, and then just tucking your toes, come very gently your abdomen in to a soft downward dog, and then come to stretch your feet. Your feet also can be wider, and then gently walk the dog by bending one knee and then bending the other knee. And then walk the feet to the hands to the feet. Just bend your knees, hang over for a moment, and then press your feet into the ground as we roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, lifting and rolling the shoulders, raising the hands up, stretch the fingers and circle the hands down. So come to the top of your mats for Salute to the Sun. I don't think there are any no downward dog people here today. So I'm taking advantage of that. So inhale, exhale, hands together at the chest, heart center. Circling your hands up, stretching up, either looking ahead or looking up. Breathing out, bring the hands through the center, bend the knees, bend the elbows, hands either side of your feet. Step back with your right foot, unusually I'm going to keep you in plank. Left foot, you're in plank. Heels up to the ceiling, but bend your knees straight away back down to the ground and lower your entire body along the floor, stretching your arms out in front of you. Slide your hands in towards your chest level, elbows in, press down on your hands, come back to kneeling. Tuck your toes, feel that you can adjust your hands or your feet to come into your downward dog. The wider the feet and the more you bend the knees, the softer this will be on your back. Sway your hips, walk the dog. Stretch both heels back and then bend both knees back down to the ground. Hands go to the left. Right foot comes up to the right, slides up to the right, hands either side of the right foot. And then what I call kneel up. Palms open to the ceiling. You're looking slightly up to the ceiling. Come to kneel up. Just turn to the right, so turn to your right leg. Right hand on the waist, your left hand can go on your right outer thigh. Come back to hands either side of your right foot. Tuck your left toes underneath. Lift your left knee and step your left foot to your right foot. Hands on the shins, breathing in. Lengthen along the spine. Breathe out, bend in. Breathe in, press your hands on the shins. As you breathe out, stay here. And as you breathe in, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Stretching your hands up. Breathing out, lower the hands back down alongside you. Lift and roll the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart center. Circling the hands up, stretching up. Breathing out, bring the hands through the center as you bend your knees and your elbows, hands either side of your feet. Stepping back with your left foot and then your right foot so that you stay in plank. Heels up to the ceiling. And then bring your knees to the ground and come to lying on your abdomen, your front, stretching your hands out along your mat. Hands come back to either side of your chest, elbows in, press on your hands, press on your knees, tucking your toes, and then coming into your downward dog. Feel that you can adjust your feet, feel that you can walk the dog by bending one knee and the other. You might like to sway your hips from side to side. And then bend both knees back down to the ground, and this time move your hands to the right, giving space for your left foot to come up. Hands either side of your left foot. And then what I call kneel up, opening the palms, looking slightly up. And then come to turn to your left inner leg. Right hand goes to the outer of the left leg and the right hand goes on the waist. Turn to look over your shoulder. Come back to center. Hands either side of your left foot. Tuck your back right toes under. Lift your right knee and step your right foot to your left foot. Hands on the shins. As you breathe and lengthen your spine. Breathe out, bend in. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. And stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, bend your knees, press your feet into the ground, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up, stretching up.
And breathing out, lower your arms, lift and roll your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart centre. Breathing in, circle the hands up, stretch up. Breathing out, roll down.
Stepping back with your right foot and your left foot. Straight line in plank. Knees to the ground. Come to your front. Stretch your arms out in front of you. Slide your hands back. Elbows in. Come back to kneeling. Tuck your toes. Come to your downward dog. Walk the dog, widen your feet. Then bend both knees back down to the ground. Hands go to the left. Right foot comes up. Hands either side of the right foot. Kneel up. And come to what I would call your crescent moon, hands up above you. I'm joining my thumbs together, it's preference, and looking either ahead, or you can look up if that's good for your balance, you choose. And then hands either side of your front right foot, tucking your left toes, lift your left knee, and step or slide your left foot to your right foot, hands on your shins. Breathe in, lengthening along the spine. Breathe out, bend in. Breathe in, lengthening along the spine. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, hands up. Stretch your fingers. And lower your arms back down alongside you. I hope you're all there. I've got a battery warning, so I'm hoping that you're there, but I don't know why that should be. And then I think we've come to the left side, haven't we? Inhale, exhale, thank you. Hands together. Breathing in, hands up, stretch up. Breathing out, hands back down through the side. Bend down. Hands either side of the feet. Step back, left foot and right foot in your plank, high plank. Knees to the ground. Lower your body to the ground. Stretching your arms out. Lying on your tummy. Hands back to pressing on the ground, either side of your chest, elbows in. Come back to kneeling, tucking your toes. Coming to your downward dog. Walking the dog. And then very gently bring both knees to the ground, hands to the right, left foot comes up, kneel up, or hands either side of your left foot, and then kneel up, coming to your crescent moon, hands either joining at the thumbs or palms together, looking ahead or looking up, and then breathing out, hands either side of your left foot. Tucking your right toes, lift your right knee and stepping your right foot to your left foot, hands on the shins. Breathing in, lengthen along the spine. Breathing out, bending in. Breathing in, lengthening. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, soften your knees as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Stretching out, join thumbs this time if you've not done so before, and just very gently sway from side to side. Come to the centre, lower your arms, step your feet a little bit apart, and just very gently sway from side to side. Then very gently come to slow that sway movement down. and then come to the centre. Bring your feet to hip width apart, hands together, and then we're going to come to lying on our back, knees bent. And we're going to be coming into, I don't necessarily often use my yogic terms, but this is something called Dvipanapidam, which is bridge. But before we do that, come to just make sure that your hands are palms down alongside you, and just explore a couple of pelvic tilts. So that's flattening the back to the ground and moving so that there's a little gap under your lower back, like that clock going from your 12 to 6. And then this form of bridge, which is very much working it strengthens the back, but it's also opening the throat. So we're moving sequentially up the chakras. Salute to the sun is traditionally associated with the heart chakra and out of the throat. So next time you press your back down, flatten it, lift your bottom as little or as much as you would like. Bend your elbows and raise your arms above you. Your chin will naturally tuck into your chest. Stretch your arms up behind you. And then breathing out, start to lower your bottom back down to the ground. And when your bottom is back onto the ground, hug both knees into the chest. Raise both soles of the feet to the ceiling. Bring the palms of the hands together through that V. And optionally, you can either just raise your head with no support, but if you would like support, take a hand to hold and support under your head and neck as you breathe out, lifting up. Release the head back down to the ground. Bend the knees back into the chest. And then place both feet onto the floor. Just take an in and an out breath, recovering. And a couple of pelvic tilts. And once more, press the feet into the ground, flatten the back, lift the bottom, chin comes into the chest, raising the elbows above you, and then stretching your arms out. Maybe the backs of the hands touches the ground, maybe they don't. And then breathing out, start to lower the back down onto the ground, vertebra by vertebra. And when you feel that your bottom is connected, your arms come down as well. When your bottom is connected with the ground, hug your knees into your chest. Soles of the feet to the ceiling in a V. Palms of the hands together through the V. You can do the Venus lock, which is second fingers together and one thumb over the other. It's a natural movement. Optional to lift the head or not lift the head, with support or not. Your head comes back down to the ground, and then hugging your knees into your chest. Then again, let the feet come back down to the earth. Palms back down on the ground alongside you, and then just very gently sway the knees from side to side. Cross your left leg over your right. Lift up your right foot and slide both hands down the front of your shins so that you're holding somewhere on your left shin with your right hand and you're somewhere along your right shin with your left hand. And wherever works for you. And you'll notice that this opens you out at the lower back. And then very gently release that hold, bringing your right foot to the ground and uncrossing your left foot. Just sway your knees from side to side. And then reverse that crossover, crossing, I think it's your right over your left. Lift your left foot off the ground, slide your hands down your shins, so that you'll feel this at the top of the hips, and at the lower back as it opens, creating space at the lower back, really at the base of the back. And then very gently release the feet to the ground, uncross your legs. Just let your knees once more sway from side to side. Hug one knee into the chest and then the other. And we come back to this Apanasana variation, hugging both knees into the chest. Still hold them, let both knees travel away. Hug both knees into the chest. Still holding the knees, let both knees travel away. Hugging both knees into the chest. Still holding them, let both knees travel away. And hugging both knees into the chest. Let both knees travel away. And then holding perhaps onto the thighs to place your feet onto the floor. Come back to just swaying your knees from side to side. Turn your head from side to side. Lift your shoulders towards your ears and then consciously move the shoulders away from the ears. And just place the hands on the abdomen. You can have your feet wider than hip width apart. You can have your knees touching. Just for a few breaths, tuning into the lower abdomen, moving up and then moving down. And then very gently come to roll to your right, if that's available. Otherwise, just come to roll whatever works for you. Just stay here for a moment to let your body adjust to the movement. And then pressing your hand down to just gently bring you up to a seated position. And come to cross-legged. If you want to have your legs out in front of you, that's also fine. And interlacing your fingers very loosely, thumbs are loose, and just bring your hands to your heart. So hopefully you can still see me. And with your hands to your heart, bring your hands touching your forehead. Bring your hands back to your heart. Open your hands out to the side. Bring them back to the heart. Chin to chest. Open your hands out to the side and touch your forehead. Chin to chest. Open your hands out to the side. Come back to your heart. Have a moment to have a thought for the day, whatever your thought wants to be. And then imagine wrapping yourself in cotton wool, can be colour of your choice today,
giving you protection for the day ahead. Have a very lovely day ahead. And thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you.